it's hard for me to wrap my head around the fact that you have people who say that they are Trump supporters, yet they want to hang the vice president. They are assaulting and killing police officers. And somehow, according to the Republican Party, that's okay. What are your thoughts on that?
I completely agree, Jordan. There are definitely hypocrites on both sides of the aisle in politics. I'm not going to try and sugarcoat like, oh, the Democratic Party never lies. They never go back on their word. No, that's just politics in general. But I do notice very, very obviously that the Republican Party is a much bigger group of hypocrites. Like you said, for example, they ignored the police warnings to stop, beat up cops, and caused the eventual death, I believe, of one police officer there. But yet, months beforehand, they were screaming, oh, Blue Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter. You have to follow what the police say all the time. Do not even try and resist, even if you think it's the right thing to do, because, Blue Lives Matter above all else. But then what do those people do? The same people that have been saying Blue Lives Matter, they go storm the Capitol, push the police to the ground. I've seen footage of the one that got crushed in between a door, and the Trump supporters were like squeezing him like inside the door. And then I'm not sure if the details are correct on this, but wasn't it a fire hydrant they beat the one guy with? Not a fire hydrant, fire extinguisher.
Yeah, we have reports that bear spray was just unleashed on officers. We know Officer Brian Sicknick, who lost his life there. And there's conflicting reports about his cause of death. But at the end of the day, I don't feel like anything that a medical examiner puts on paper negates the fact that had it not been for the Trump terrorists and for Donald Trump on January 6th, Brian Sicknick would not have died that day. And many other people would not have died that day, because we also saw Trump supporters and the Trump terrorists dying themselves. Someone fell from the inaugural steps that were being built. We had some of them have heart attacks, cardiac arrests. This was about much more than just law enforcement being assaulted. It affected many, many more people. But for some reason, the right simply wants to forget that this happened.
You're absolutely right. And for God's sakes, that woman was shot in the head, I believe, by a Capitol police officer for trying to enter into the debate room when the doors were barricaded, and they were pleading with him, for the love of God, stop doing this. And I think, honestly, part of the reason why this escalated to the point was the Capitol police officers were like, saw the Trump parade, the masqueraders of MAGA storm the steps, and they're like, oh, these people have been saying for months now, Blue Lives Matter and Police Lives Matter. So they wouldn't possibly go to the lengths to get past us and brutally beat us to enter into there and try and destroy the sacred nature of American democracy. But of course, as we all saw live on television, that's exactly what happened.
That is exactly what happened. And one thing that I don't want to see happen again is any Republican running for any seat in this country come out and say, we are the party of law and order. We are the party that backs the blue. Because January 6th, that can't be erased from our memory. They are no longer the ones who back law enforcement. When we see images of law enforcement being crushed indoors and having their eyes gouged out, that's not a party that seriously backs the blue. And I think you're exactly right with what you said.